the New York Liberty have gotten their act together and was able to finish what they started. We saw a game that was very, very similar to game one, but ultimately the New York Liberty were able to get out of New York with the dub, tying up the season, guys. The final score is 80 New York Liberty, 66 Minnesota Lynx, guys. I would say, yeah, a lot of overtones that are very, very similar to game one. In game one, the New York Liberty scored 32 points in that first quarter, right? In game one. New York had 32. Minnesota had 19, right? Game two was just ended. The New York Liberty had 31 in that first quarter, 21 for the Minnesota Lynx. So it was sort of similar things, like great start by the New York Liberty, but the question was, were you going to choke? Were you going to choke, or were you going to finish it out and get the dub? And ultimately, they were able to stay consistent with it. Now, we have ebbs and flows, right? This is basketball, right? It's a game of runs. It's a hit or miss league. It's a make or miss league. Like that's what it's all about. And ultimately, we saw this New York Liberty team win the first quarter. They won the fourth quarter, and they ultimately got the dub. Now, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. We saw Sabrina get hot in the first half, similar again to what she did in the second half, what she did in game one. We saw Brianna Stewart come off to a pretty decent start. And in game one, there was not much momentum for the rest of the quarters. It was like the first quarter, you made your big impact, and the rest of the game, it was sort of like, whatever. In game two, we actually saw that it was another X Factor that was not named Brianna or Sabrina, who absolutely made it happen for the New York Liberty, and is the reason why the New York Liberty even stayed in this game to get the win. And her name is Betnijah Laney-Hamilton, guys. Betnijah Laney-Hamilton showed up and showed out in this game. She is a person who's been dealing with a knee injury for a while. She was on minutes restrictions for a good amount of the playoffs so far, but it looks like her minutes restrictions are now up. And Betnijah Laney-Hamilton, it seemed like she had determined from the beginning of the game that she was going to be aggressive. And that's exactly what she was throughout this game. Betnijah was extremely aggressive. Like it wasn't even an issue, right? She started off in the first quarter, blow, 3-point shot. She had a mid-range type of free throw shot, then she scored in the paint. And then we go into the second quarter. More from Betnijah Laney-Hamilton. She hit a corner 3-point shot and another 3-point shot that was sort of like sort of towards the top of the key, 3-point shot in the second quarter. Third quarter, boom. Continuing to stay effective for Betnijah Laney-Hamilton. Betnijah ends up getting a layup, also gets a nice mid-range jumper. Fourth quarter, what does she do? 3-point basket. Betnijah Laney-Hamilton was a three-level scorer today. She got it done in the paint, she got it done in the mid-range, and she got it done from the three. And when you are looking to be successful, right? When you're looking to make an impact for your team, yes, everybody knows that this team runs through Sabrina and Stewie. However, Betnijah Laney-Hamilton is fantastic. Jonquel Jones is fantastic. Leonie Phoebus is fantastic. And this is the type of game that at least someone that is not named Brianna or Sabrina needs to have for the New York Liberty to ultimately get it done. Because we saw Minnesota, it seemed that they made some adjustments, and Sabrina just wasn't effective in that second half. She just was, in terms of scoring, she wasn't effective, right? This team needed someone to sort of lead the charge and get them their energy boost when they started to wane. This is a team that, like, yes, they went off They went off like a rocket in that first quarter. But if it was not for Betnijah Laney-Hamilton, guys, the New York Liberty would have lost. They would have for sure lost in this game if it was not for Betnijah, because Betnijah she did her thing. She did her absolute thing today. And it was great to see. Not only, I just want to go through that real quick. Again, Betnijah Laney-Hamilton, she played 32 minutes off of minutes restrictions. She had 20 points in this game. Ended up with the +5, 2 assists, 1 steal. She played a fantastic game, and no way do the Liberty win without Betnijah Laney-Hamilton. Yes, she didn't score the most points. However, she was the most impactful person in my opinion. Other players who did well, I thought Stewie had a good game. Stewie had 21 points in this game, but whatever. That don't count. What I want to talk about is the way that Breanna Stewart was playing defense. She ended up this game with 7 steals, and a good amount of those steals were when they're trying to pass it to Nafisa Collier. She gets her hands up. She gets active. She gets on the boards, right? She was a very active player. She had her hands up. They were either wide or they were up, and she was just getting steal after steal after steal, anticipating the passes and jumping it and getting a steal. Again, 7 steals. This is a final WNBA Finals record for most steals in a regular game. I thought she was really good. Now, yes, on defense she was really good, and yes, on offense she scored with 21 points. Ultimately, she finished 7 of 18 from the field. But the thing that is a bit troubling is the fact that you saw 5 turnovers for the New York Liberty. 5 turnovers for Breanna Stewart alone. The New York Liberty ultimately finished this game with 16 turnovers. Less than the Minnesota Lynx 20 turnovers, but still not great. We saw stretches in this game of just bad play, dumb decisions, dumb passes, no vision, right? Now that happens, right? It's about making adjustments and moving on, and that's what this team was able to do. They were able to make adjustments, and they ultimately were able to finish out the game with the dub. Jonquel Jones, she was aiming for her double-double. She did not get a double-double today. She had 14 points, 9 rebounds. She also had a lot of turnovers with 4 for Jonquel Jones herself. Betnijah Laney-Hamilton had 3, and Sabrina Ionescu had 2 turnovers, I should say. Leonie Febich hit a big 3-point shot in the fourth quarter. And Sabrina Ionescu, basically all of her points came from that first half, I should say. And nothing really going in the second half. She finishes the game with 15 points. Now, the Liberty is a good squad. If they can get a rounded out effort consistently, it's gonna be tough for them to lose the finals, right? Because we had 4 Liberty players in double figures, 2 with 20 or more. That's a really, really good look for this New York Liberty team going forward. So I would say really good game from them. They were able to make the adjustments necessary because yes, while Minnesota, I believe, kind of stepped up their defense in that second half, and they locked down Sabrina a lot more. What was Sabrina doing? Sabrina was passing the basketball. She was getting her teammates involved. She was making sure that she wasn't just gonna jack up crazy shots like she did in game 1, right? Game 1, there were so many bad shots that Sabrina Ionescu took. Today, that wasn't the case. That was not the case at all. I thought she took care of the basketball. I thought she made sure her players were in the right positions, and ultimately, I think she plays a really good game. Only 2 turnovers for her, 15 points, 5 assists, ends up with a plus minus of plus 20. It's not all about scoring. Yeah, sometimes they are going to lock you down, right? But just because they lock you down does not mean you become ineffective, right? She still was an effective player on the court for her team. And that's the thing that I really enjoy that. Like it's not just about you scoring a bunch of baskets. That's not what it's about. How can you enable winning, right? How can you enable winning? In the first quarter, she hit 5 field goals. In the second quarter, she does one attempt, misses it. In the third quarter, she makes one attempt, is a 3-point shot that she misses. In the fourth quarter, she makes 0 attempts, but she does get to the free throw line. This is a player that can make an impact doing something else. You don't always have to score. What to me, what determines a really good basketball player is what they can do when their shot isn't falling and or when the defense has their number. And today, they had Sabrina's number, and Sabrina was still able to make some stuff happen and get her teammates involved. And I think that's huge. Now, guys, a player that does not get a lot of talking about. People don't talk about her, but I want to talk about her. I want to give her flowers. Her name is Niara Sabally. Niara Sabally, I thought, came into this game and made a huge impact. She did. Niara Sabally comes into this game. Right off the bat, she gets 2 straight offensive boards from her teammates missing. Yes, they ultimately don't score on that possession. I forgot who shot the ball, but Niara got the hustle, got the rebound, passed it back out. Another missed Liberty shot. Niara gets it again and tries to make another possession out of it. I thought Niara, the minutes that she played, she didn't play that much minutes. She played 9 minutes in this game. 9 minutes. She finishes with 1 point. It's an example of, and she also got 2 big defensive rebounds as well. Niara Sabally in the 9 minutes that she gave the Liberty team today, to me, it's just another example. It's another example of why the box score don't tell you everything. The box score does not tell you everything at all. Niara Sabally was working. She was getting herself in position. She was boxing out. She was hustling on defense. She played fantastic in today's game. For the 9 minutes that she played, that 1 point that she got, I thought she gave great minutes. And again, guys, it's not just all about the box score. Don't look at the box score and be like, oh, she didn't do anything. No, she did. She did. She gave great minutes, great hustle, got a block in that game. I thought she was great. Of the 3 bench players who actually played for the New York Liberty today, Niara Sabally stood out the most. Yes, Kayla Thornton got a 3. Yes, Courtney Vandersloot had a 3. But to me, it was the 9 minutes that Niara Sabally played. And if I'm Sandy Brondello, I am going to Niara in the locker room and I'm saying, this is exactly what I need from you every night. Whatever minutes you get, whoever I put you against, do your assignment. And that is exactly what Niara Sabally did. I thought she was ready to go from the get-go. She was ready. Didn't matter how many minutes, whether it was 2 minutes, whether it was 5 minutes, it didn't matter. Showing up for the time that you are in the game, because you know that you can always make an impact. And I thought she made a really big impact in this game. She's not going to get a lot of flowers. No one's going to talk about her. She's not going to be mentioned probably in the post-game AP write-up that they do, right? She's probably not going to be mentioned. But I wanted to mention her because there's unsung heroes. There's unsung players who don't get the attention that I believe they should because of the efforts that they give to their team. And so, yes, not an impressive box score, but she was impressive on the court if you actually watch the game for Niara Sabally. For the Minnesota Lynx, this was a game where Napheesa Collier was off. Napheesa Collier was off in today's game. She only finishes with 16 points. She just, I don't know, she just didn't seem like her normal self. She seemed frustrated. She was getting foul calls left and right on her. She ended up with 4 fouls in this game, and she's not a player who gets fouled who fouls often, right? She does not get fouled often. She does not foul often, I should say, but 4 fouls. That last foul, I don't know. Maybe that could have been a no call for that foul. But this team is a team that rides on Napheesa Collier. Either Napheesa shows up and scores close to 30 points in a game, or somebody else severely shows up. And unfortunately for the Minnesota Lynx, no one else really showed up. Napheesa Collier, 16 points, 7 of 12 from the field. She had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 7 turnovers for Napheesa Collier. And again, a lot of that 7 turnovers was because of Brianna Stewart. Brianna Stewart was the cause of a lot of those turnovers. Okay, so yes, 7 turnovers for Napheesa Collier, again, due to the long arms and activeness of Brianna Stewart. She just didn't play that great. It was just a really, really off night. She just couldn't really get a lot of stuff going. And you have those nights sometimes. Sometimes you have those nights. I thought she did play some good defense overall. She played some really good defense. She's a player who continues to know when to put her hands in and sort of grab the ball. She said, and guys, I don't have this stat because I wasn't like noting it down every single time it happened, but Napheesa Collier locked up so many players for a jump ball. It was absolutely ridiculous. So many jump balls in today's game, and that was because she was able to just sort of time it just right, boom, grab the basketball and make some stuff happen. So NK says, Quita, do you think Fee was tired? I wonder if they should have taken her off of Stewie until the crucial moments at the end of the quarters. The thing is, you can't take Napheesa off of Stewie. You can't. There is no, I don't believe there's anybody else on the Minnesota Lynx that can guard Stewie. Yes, Napheesa was tired. I do believe that. But if you take Napheesa off of Brianna Stewart, there's nobody else that can stop her. So if you take her off to use Napheesa on offense, now Brianna Stewart's just going to cook you. She's going to cook you. So I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's possible for the Lynx to put somebody else on Brianna Stewart. Like I think they'll get cooked. I think they'll get cooked. So that's my thoughts on that front. I don't think they can put somebody else on her. But yeah, Napheesa Collier just really did struggle in this game, which is, you have those games sometimes, and she was impactful on the defensive end. But at the same time, you need more. She did end up with 4 steals, so that's cool. But her team needed more from somebody. More from somebody. In game 1, we saw that more come from Courtney Williams, and we saw that more come from Kayla McBride. Kayla McBride in game 1, she was fantastic. In game 1, Kayla McBride had 22 points in game 1. Game 2, Kayla McBride, 8 points. It's not good enough. Courtney Williams in game 1, 23 points. In game 2, 15 points. 8 rebounds. Not enough. Bridget Carlton, only 8 points in today's game. Alana Smith, I thought she did well. With 14 points. But this team needs way more support. If Napheesa does not score close to 30 points, somebody else needs to be in the 20-point range. Somebody else, if not 2 people. The reason why the New York Liberty win today's game is the fact that they had balanced scoring. It was balanced scoring from a lot of different areas. Betnijah Laney-Hamilton was going off. Sabrina had some buckets, right? Stewie had some buckets. Jonquil Jones had some buckets. But for the Minnesota Lynx, They have zero people in 20 with 20 points or more. Zero. The highest scoring player was Napheesa Collier with 16. It's not good enough. That is not good enough. Now, is it the worst thing in the world? No, it's not the worst thing in the world, guys. It's not. This is a tied up series, right? It's 1-1. The Lynx stole game 1. The Liberty won game 2. Now we're heading over to the Target Center in Minneapolis to watch games 3 and game 4. And I think Minnesota, they're going to go back home. They're going to rest up. They're going to be just fine for game 3. Now, yes, I do believe that Napheesa Collier was tired. Yes, I do believe other players on the team were tired. But you got to play through it. Everybody's tired. Everybody's tired. We're at the end of the WNBA season. Everybody's tired, and a good amount of players played overseas for the Olympics, right? So it is what it is. It's time for players to show up and step up, because this is the time when it matters the most. So yeah, that's my quick sort of recap about what happened in today's game. Also, I didn't know that Natisha Heidemann was the lone bench player to score. She was the lone bench player to score for the Minnesota Lynx. Ultimately finished the game with 5 points. You need more also from your bench too. All right, you need more. So yeah, that's my thoughts about this. Ultimately, we're going to Minneapolis, so we'll see what happens in that game. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. If y'all could, please make sure to hit that like button. Really does help the channel out a whole lot. Hit that subscribe button as well. I appreciate it. And guys, I will talk to you all in the next one. Got some awesome videos coming out tomorrow, so hope y'all are ready for it. And until next time, guys, goodbye.